You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
That is the most famous offer in science fiction. A man in a leather coat holds out 2 capsules to a software developer named Thomas Anderson, who hacks under the name Neo. Blue means forgetting, red means truth. Almost every viewer reads that moment as the door swinging open. The scene works the other way around. Neo takes the red pill and wakes up inside a second system built by the same machines that built the first one. The pill decides which floor he lives on. It never decides whether he lives inside the building. Start with what Morpheus is actually selling. Morpheus captains a hovercraft called the Nebuchadnezzar, and he believes a prophecy about a man who can end the war between humans and machines. He has spent years looking for that man. He tells Neo the world he grew up in is a simulation, a program fed directly into his brain while his body lies in a tank. Then he defines reality itself in a way that quietly undermines his own rescue.
What is real? How do you define real?
Morpheus asks that question to prove the Matrix is fake. The same question aims straight back at him. If reality is whatever the brain is told to feel, then waking up in a sewer full of ships proves nothing except that a different feed took over. Notice what Morpheus does before he offers the pills. He explains the stakes, builds the suspense, and hands Neo the decision. Neo picks. He reaches out, swallows the red one, and every viewer feels the rush of a man taking control of his life for the first time. That feeling is the product. The machines sell it deliberately, and the man who designed the Matrix says so out loud. In The Matrix Reloaded, Neo reaches a white room full of monitors and meets an old man in a gray suit. This is the architect, the program that wrote The Matrix. He explains that his first attempt at the simulation was a paradise, and human minds rejected it. His second attempt was built from human history, full of suffering, and that failed too. The fix came from a different program, the Oracle, who studies human psychology and appears in the films as an old woman baking cookies in an apartment kitchen.
As I was saying, she stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice, even if they were only aware of the choice at a near unconscious level.
Read that slowly. The machines discovered that humans accept captivity at a rate of 99% as long as captivity feels chosen. The choice does not need to be real. It does not even need to be conscious. It needs to exist somewhere in the mind as a door the person decided against walking through. Morpheus, holding out 2 pills, is running that exact procedure. The architect also accounts for the remainder.
Ergo, those that refuse the program, while a minority, if unchecked, would constitute an escalating probability of disaster.
1% refuse. The machines identified them, measured them, and calculated the risk they pose. A system that has run the numbers on its own rebels has already decided what to do with them. The rebellion is a line item in the design document. The 1% go to Zion, the last human city, buried deep underground near the Earth's core. Zion is where the freed humans live, train, and launch the ships that pull more people out of the Matrix. It is the reward at the end of the red pill. The architect describes Zion the way an engineer describes a component he has replaced 5 times.
This will be the 6th time we have destroyed it.
Zion has been built and leveled 5 times already. Every generation of humans in that city believed they were the first, and every one of them was wrong. The architect then explains how the city gets restocked.
After which you will be required to select from the Matrix 23 individuals, 16 female, 7 male, to rebuild Zion.
23 people, 16 women, 7 men, handpicked out of the simulation by the One himself, then sent underground to start the cycle again. The One is not the man who breaks the system. The One is the maintenance procedure that keeps the system running, and the prophecy Morpheus believes in is the recruitment poster. Neo works this out inside the same film and says it plainly to the man who found him.
The prophecy was a lie. The One was never meant to end anything. It was all another system of control.
The escape route was supplied by the people being escaped from. Both pills lead into machine architecture. Blue keeps a person in the simulation. Red moves them into the department that manages people who reject the simulation. That is the trap in outline. The proof arrives when Neo starts using his powers where they should not work at all. Inside the Matrix, Neo can do anything. because inside the Matrix, he is manipulating code. He stops bullets, flies, and rewrites the rules. All of that stays consistent with the film's own logic. Code responds to code. Reloaded ends by breaking that logic completely. Neo escapes the Matrix into the tunnels beneath the surface, and a wave of Sentinels closes in. Sentinels are the machine's hunter-killers, mechanical squids that tear ships apart. Neo has no weapon. He turns toward them and stops.
I can feel them.
He raises a hand. 5 Sentinels die in midair, and Neo drops into a coma. He is standing in the real world, unplugged, with no cables in his skull, and the machines in front of him stop working because he wanted them to. Nothing in the prophecy covers this. Nothing in Morpheus's teaching covers it either. Neo takes the question to the only program willing to answer.
Tell me how I separated my mind from my body without jacking in. Tell me how I stopped 4 Sentinels by thinking it.
The Oracle's answer is the single most important line in the trilogy about the nature of the real world.
The power of the One extends beyond this world. It reaches from here all the way back to where it came from.
The power runs on a connection to the source, the central machine mainframe that generates the Matrix. Neo's abilities reach out of the simulation and into the tunnels because the source reaches into the tunnels. The mainframe that renders the Matrix has authority over the place everyone calls reality. A man made of code just edited the physical world by thinking about it. Either the trilogy abandoned its own rules, or the tunnels below the surface obey the same rules as the sky above the city. Traffic runs the other way too. Agent Smith, the security program that hunted Neo through the first film, becomes a virus capable of copying himself over anyone he touches. In Revolutions, he copies himself over a Zion crewman named Bane, and Bane walks off his ship carrying Smith's mind in a human skull. A program now operates a body of flesh, breathes air, feels pain, and hunts Neo through the corridors of a hovercraft, hundreds of miles from any simulation. Smith crossed from software into meat by writing himself onto a person. Code reaches into the real world. Consciousness moves out of bodies without cables. Machines shut down because a man wills it. The wall between the two worlds leaks in every direction the story tests it. The Matrix Revolutions removes the ambiguity by showing a third location that belongs to neither world. Neo tries to leave the Matrix and wakes up in a deserted subway station. The platform is clean, the lights are on, and a family is waiting for a train. They are programs wearing human faces. The father introduces himself as Rama Kandra, a power plant systems manager. His wife writes software. Their daughter Sati has no assigned purpose, which is why they are smuggling her out. Neo asks where he is.
This place is nowhere. It is between your world and our world.
A station sitting between the Matrix and the Machine City, running on its own rules, invisible to every ship and every operator in Zion. Neo tries to board the train and meets the program that owns the place.
I built this place. Down here, I make the rules. Down here, I make the threats. Down here, I'm God.
The trainman built a private layer of reality and holds absolute authority inside it. He answers to the Merovingian, an old exiled program who runs a criminal network of other exiled programs from a restaurant in the Matrix. Zion has no idea any of this exists, so the geography of the trilogy contains at least 3 environments made of code, stacked, with programs administering each one and trafficking between them. Neo, a human being, gets stranded in one of them, while his body sits in a chair on a ship. His mind entered a simulated space without a single cable. The Animatrix episode, Kid's Story, makes the same point from the other direction. A teenager named Michael Carl Popper receives a phone call from Morpheus, warning him that agents are coming. Agents are the Matrix's security programs, and they arrive at his school within minutes. Popper runs, climbs to the roof, finds them waiting, and steps backwards off the edge. He should die in a hospital bed with his mind wiped. Instead, he opens his eyes in the real world, on a table aboard the Nebuchadnezzar, and Trinity says the line that should stop the franchise cold.
I didn't think self-substantiation was possible.
Hopper pulled himself out of the Matrix using belief alone. No operator, no exit call, no hardline, no crew standing over him. A boy who was certain enough about the truth simply relocated himself between layers. Exit works on conviction. That describes a permission setting, and permission settings belong to whoever wrote the system. Consider what that costs the machines. Every other human leaves the Matrix through a hijacked phone line, a crew, a ship, and a surgical extraction from a pod. Popper skipped all of it. If a frightened teenager can relocate himself out of the simulation by deciding hard enough that it is false, then the wall around the Matrix responds to belief. And belief is exactly the variable the Oracle was built to study. The machines measured how humans accept the program. They understood equally well how humans leave it. Zion presents itself as the opposite of the Matrix. Dirt, sweat, machinery, real food, real bodies. One conversation in Reloaded dismantles that presentation, and it happens far away from any fight scene. Counselor Haman, one of Zion's elderly leaders, takes Neo down to the engineering level in the middle of the night. Below the city sits a floor of machines that recycle water, filter air, and generate heat. Haman admits he has no idea how any of it works, and then he says this. The last free human city runs on machines. Neo answers that Zion controls its machines, and Haman agrees, then points out the obvious consequence. Switch them off, and the lights die. The air stops moving, and Zion suffocates. The humans in the deepest hole on Earth are as dependent on machine systems as the bodies floating in the towers above them. The difference is decor. The films slip one more signal into that city. In Reloaded, a young man called the Kid hands Neo a package before he leaves.
A gift from one of the orphans. You said you'd understand.
Inside is a spoon, the same object a child in the Oracle's waiting room used to teach Neo the founding lesson of his powers.
There is no spoon.
That spoon existed as code inside the Matrix. It arrives in Neo's hand in Zion, delivered by a boy who lives in Zion, sent by a boy who lives in the Matrix. The lesson attached to it says that solid objects are perception. Neo receives that lesson again, standing in the place everyone calls real, moments before he flies into the tunnels and stops 5 machines with his mind. Neo reaches the machine city, negotiates with the machine's central intelligence, and destroys Agent Smith, the rogue program threatening to consume everything. The Sentinels withdraw from Zion. Humans cheer in the streets. The war ends. Then the film cuts to a park bench inside the Matrix, where the Oracle sits with the architect, and the terms of the peace get spoken aloud. The Oracle asks about the humans still in the pods who want out.
Obviously, they will be freed.
The Matrix keeps running. The architect keeps administering it. Billions of people remain in the towers, and release becomes a policy the machines have agreed to honor. Humanity's greatest victory upgrades the exit procedure. The building stands, the tenants stay, and the management adds a door. Morpheus spent his entire life believing that the prophecy would deliver freedom. He stands at the temple gate, watching the Sentinels retreat, everything he ever wanted arriving at once, and he says 4 words.
I have imagined this moment for so long. Is this real?
The man who taught Neo to doubt reality cannot recognize victory when it lands in front of him. He has no way to test it. Nobody in Zion has ever had a way to test it. Neo swallowed the red pill and inherited a war he was manufactured to fight, a city the machines stock and demolish on schedule, powers that route back to a machine mainframe, and a peace treaty signed by the program that built his prison. The blue pill offered a quiet life inside the simulation. 2 pills, 1 system. The Matrix keeps 99% by letting them choose, and it keeps the other 1% the same way. That is why the scene everyone remembers as the moment Neo broke free is the moment the machines closed the deal.